Every single second, the ground is shifting beneath the feet of every founder, every investor, every leader who dares to carve something real out of this twisting, chaotic world. There's a storm tearing through venture capital right now, and it's not coming from market crashes or regulations. It's coming from something far deeper, far more relentless. Autonomous AI isn't just knocking on the door of the old ways, it's tearing them down, brick by fragile brick, leaving behind a landscape that demands we rethink everything we thought we knew about building, funding, and scaling the next big thing. Think about the sleepless nights, the pitches rejected because the market suddenly moved, the sense of throwing everything you have into an idea that the world no longer wants. The old playbook is burning, and the smoke makes it hard to breathe, let alone see where to run next. You're not just competing with startups or trends anymore. You're competing with machines that learn faster, think sharper, and adapt infinitely. Autonomous AI isn't waiting for permission. It's rewriting the rules on the fly, while the rest of the world scrambles to keep up. And the brutal truth? Venture capital, as it's been known for decades, the high-stakes game of intuition, gut feeling, networks built on personalities, is at risk of being swallowed whole by the tireless efficiency of intelligent automation. The very essence of how deals get made, how founders get found, how investments get justified is being questioned. How long will it last when an AI can analyze market potential, growth probability, and founder resilience in seconds, making recommendations based on data no human could ever gather or process? What do you do when your edge, the human angle, the intuition, the instinct, is suddenly the slowest player in the game? This is the kind of question that ripples through boardrooms and backrooms alike, a shadow hanging over the dreams of every visionary betting on their ability to see what others can't. But this moment, this chaos, this explosion of autonomous AI power, this is not just a threat. It's the kind of fire that either burns everything down or forges something entirely new and unbreakable. Real change doesn't happen in comfort. It never has. It ignites in the cracks of collapse, the moments when old systems fail us and raw potential demands a new kind of existence. If you feel that tension, that raw pulse of frustration and hunger buried beneath polite meetings and carefully crafted decks, you're not alone. Because the question is not just about survival anymore, it's about evolution. How to not only stay relevant, but to become unstoppable in a world designed to accelerate beyond human limits. The same AI systems that threaten to render the old venture game obsolete can also be the very tools that unleash an entirely new dimension of power for founders and investors alike. The key is not running from AI, but learning to stand beside it, armed with something no algorithm can replicate: sovereign human will, fierce critical thought, and a relentless drive to build that transcends every simple calculation. The world doesn't reward passivity. It rewards those who refuse to be processed, packaged, and predictable. Those who refuse to live a borrowed life or wait for someone else's approval to move. The rare few who burn brighter than the system that tries to cage them. Here's the deal. Autonomous AI can analyze the obvious. It can scout every market trend, crunch numbers in real time, optimize outcomes, but it can't replace what happens when human genius and autonomy collide. The great venture leaders aren't just chips on the board, they are creators of entirely new boards, new games, new economies fueled by networks of rare individuals who refuse to be boxed. The future belongs to those who understand AI not as a rival, but as a collaborator, a powerful amplifier of ideas that are already burning in the minds of those willing to break the comfort of the status quo. Investors must become the architects of this new reality, not just its gamblers. It's about building autonomous ecosystems where the exceptional connect, where misaligned brilliance becomes raw power, where visionary founders find not just money, but the right kind of support that transforms potential into unstoppable momentum. The old model of chasing the many, of scaling noise and empty growth, is a relic. Instead, the future demands selectivity, precision, and a ruthless partnership with AI to identify and align with those few rare fires that refuse to die out. But that means asking the questions no one's willing to ask. What if the future of venture capital isn't about more money, but about smarter connection? What if the foundation of growth isn't metrics and projections alone, but the fierce alignment of values and vision between founders and investors? What if unlocking the next era means being willing to let go of legacy systems, of broken assumptions, and step into a collective where individuality is not sacrificed but amplified? This isn't a call for comfort, it's a summons for rebellion. A rebellion against complacency, against mediocrity rewarded by outdated systems. It's a call for patience and detachment from the urgent noise of the short game, because true power doesn't come fast. It comes from deliberate, relentless becoming. It's about fostering a network, a hidden web of sovereign minds burning in their own right, connecting not by borders or business cards, but by a shared refusal to conform and a hunger to remake reality itself. Founders and investors who fail to see this will be crushed under the weight of automation, swallowed by an AI landscape that favors speed, data, and scale over intuition and nuance. But those who rise will find something extraordinary, an autonomous network of brilliance where the rare find each other, bond, and create advancements that spell not just the survival, but the revolution of human-led venture creation. Imagine AI tools that don't just evaluate startups, but help unearth true potential by connecting seemingly disconnected dots across industries and disciplines. Picture a future where investment decisions are amplified by human wisdom, but unlocked by machine precision. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, quietly reshaping power beneath the radar of those clinging to old formulas. For leaders ready to face this new reality, here is the deepest insight. The future of venture capital lies not in volume, but in essence. Not in noise, but in signal. The system will no longer serve simply to replicate itself. It must become a living network, a crucible where misaligned, misunderstood, and undervalued brilliance meets its counterpart and transforms into collective power. This is how tomorrow's innovation will be born, not by mass adoption, but by the fierce alignment of rare individuals driven by a shared mission to transcend the limits imposed on them. No one said this would be easy. Autonomous AI is relentless. It doesn't sleep. It won't wait for you to catch up. But surrendering to tools without sovereignty is a death sentence. Instead, wield your will as your weapon. Question everything the world says is possible. Tear down the illusions of freedom that come coded in comfort and conformity. This is ruthless freedom, the kind that demands you transform your reality and become more than just a player in the game. Venture capital has always been about more than making money. It's been about betting on the future, on visions ahead of their time, on founders who don't settle. Today, the stakes are higher. The system you once knew is dying, but out of its ashes, a new framework is reborn, not one that controls, but one that connects, not one that measures compliance, but one that cultivates freedom. This is not for everyone. It never was. It is for those who feel an unbearable tension inside, a quiet fire that says, "There is more. I must find it. I must become it." This is the crucible for the founders and investors who refuse to be mere products of a broken system and instead choose to become the architects of what's next. This is where the rare few find each other, where difference is strength, where collaboration is fearless, and every spark is fed and amplified by a network that sees beyond the facade of borders, comfort, or legacy. The rise of autonomous AI is not the end of venture capital. It is the catalyst for its transformation. If you dare to claim it, to walk into the fire, to burn the old illusions and craft something radically new. Not just surviving, but thriving. Not just participating, but leading. This is the moment where those who refuse to bow become the builders of a future so powerful, so real, that nothing, not even AI itself, can extinguish the fire of human autonomy and ingenuity. The question isn't, can venture capital survive the rise of autonomous AI? It's who will harness it to become unstoppable. Who will forge the new path where others see only ruin? That's the journey. That's the fight. And if you're watching this now, maybe, just maybe, you're already part of it.